breaking news here on Texans Today. The Houston Texans GM Nick Caserio have gone out and maybe signed the starting left tackle for the Houston Texans this next year in Cam Robinson. The news was made official today, just hours after the Texans had restructured Titus Howard's contract, freeing up around a little bit over $11 million in cap space. Now the Texans land another tackle in free agency to replace Laramie Tunsil. Jordan Schultz had the figures for us. Cam Robinson is going to the Texans on a one-year deal worth up to $14.5 million per sources. The base, I believe, is just over $12 million. He's the new blindside protector for CJ Stroud. And the thing you need to know about Cam Robinson is one thing and one thing only. I'm just kidding. No, he's only played left tackle in the NFL. Drafted by the Jacksonville Jaguars, was traded to the Minnesota Vikings last year. He has exclusively played left tackle during his NFL career. Now, as we look at the updated Texans depth chart, this is what I have it penciled in right now. As Cam Robinson as the left tackle, I just went ahead and scooched Titus Howard right over to left guard. Jarrett Patterson, Juice Scruggs, Blake Fisher making the rest of this lineup, which this is in no way set in stone. This is set in number 2 pencil at the moment with the eraser ready to take somebody's name off. But my big question to you, the main question on today's show, will Cam Robinson start at left tackle for the Texans this year? Give me a yes. Give me a no. I was already debating with guys in the office saying, that's going to be the starter. And I'll tell you what I have to say in just a moment. But go down right now and let me know your thoughts. Do you think Cam Robinson is the left tackle for the Houston Texans week 1 to start next year? This is going to sound bad. Cam Robinson, I hope you don't take this the wrong way. If you are watching this video, I hope not. I don't think so. I just feel like it's such a step back for the Houston Texans if they go ahead and just say, you know what, Cam Robinson, he's the starter moving forward. I feel like this is more insurance for the left tackle spot because I feel like this signifies they're going to go out and draft a left tackle in the first 2 rounds of this year's NFL draft. Because if we look at Cam Robinson's stats this past season, according to PFF, was average. It was maybe a little bit below average, right? Like in 7 games with the Jaguars, 4 sacks allowed, 3 penalties. In 10 games with the Vikings, 3 sacks allowed, 10 penalties. The PFF grades, they're okay, 60.5 overall grade with Minnesota, 67.8 pass blocking grade, 56.7 run blocking grade. The number's a little bit better in Jacksonville. And if we go to his more PFF stats, the hurries, that's what worries me. 30 hurries and 10 penalties in 10 games for the Minnesota Vikings. And our Vikings host, Patrick Seatman, he actually sent me this little nugget right before I started filming. 21 pressures and 2 sacks versus the Lions and the Rams, the last 2 games of the Vikings season. And in that playoff game where the Vikings lost to the Rams in the wild card round, 39.5 pass blocking grade in that playoff game. Not good. Not good. And as we look at the left tackle options for your Houston Texans in round 1, obviously I don't have Will Campbell. I don't have Mimbu on here because I believe both those guys are top 10 picks, and I don't think the Texans have enough ammunition to trade up into the top 10. So realistically, you're looking at one of these guys hopefully falling in round 1, either a Kelvin Banks, Josh Simmons, Donovan Jackson, Josh Connerly, Wyatt Millum, Marcus Bow. I think one of those guys is who the Texans are probably going to be targeting in round 1 if they are looking for a left tackle to battle with Cam Robinson during training camp. But coming up in just a moment, what is the plan for the offensive line? What are we doing moving forward, Nick Caserio? I'm going to break down possibly what the Texans have cooking, their thoughts after this move, and where do we go from here after the Texans sign Cam Robinson. Before I do, quick shout out to our friends over at Fanatics. If you need a new Cam Robinson jersey, or if you're looking for any Texans jersey out there, it doesn't matter what size, what color, what shape, they got you covered. They have men's, they have women's, they have baby jerseys, all available with our friends over at Fanatics. All you got to do, use that link, chatsports.com/Texans jerseys. That lets Fanatics know that we sent you over there. That link will be in the comment section and description of today's video. Go check them out today, chatsports.com/Texans jerseys. Hey, if they re-sign Stephon Diggs, they have Diggs jerseys up there too already for you. Joe Mixon as well. Go check them all out today, chatsports.com/Texans jerseys. One more time, that'll be available in the comment section and description of today's video. Another huge question on today's show. One, obviously, Cam Robinson, left tackle. But now, who's playing right tackle? Because my thought process was Titus Howard or Blake Fisher were going to be left tackle and right tackle. But now you add Cam Robinson in the mix, it looks like one of these guys is going to have to play guard. So my question to you is this. Who do you think is going to start at right tackle next year? Do you think it's going to be Titus Howard, type TH, or do you think it's going to be Blake Fisher, type BF, in the comment section? I'm typing my BF because I think they made that move with Laramie Tunsil knowing that they have trust in the second-year man out of Notre Dame in Blake Fisher to hold down the right tackle spot. He came into this league as a tackle, played left tackle, played right tackle at Notre Dame, and I think that's the plan for the Texans moving forward is to start Fisher at right tackle. So then what does that mean for Titus Howard? Is he your starting left guard going into 2025? They just restructured his contract, basically tying Howard to the Texans for at least the next season, probably the next 2 seasons. Titus Howard will be a Houston Texan. Will he play left guard? Now, he famously has, in the past been like, I'm a tackle, I play tackle. Is he okay for the next couple of years going ahead and being a guard in the NFL? He played decent this past year when they needed him to play guard, but is that the plan moving forward? Is that who you really want to be the mainstay at left guard for this team? I'm not sure that's the case. I expect the Texans to continue to make moves along the offensive line and select multiple offensive linemen in the first 4 rounds of this year's draft. My only wonder is, will they target a tackle or an interior offensive lineman first in this year's draft? Do they go with one of those 6 tackles that I talked about earlier in the show? Or do they look on the interior? Do they go with like a Tyler Booker, a Gray Zabel, one of these best guards that they have, Tate Ratledge? Do they target one of those guys before they target a tackle in this year's draft? That's my biggest concern. That's my biggest question with this Cam Robinson signing, as the Texans have made a boatload of moves this offseason. Nick Caserio seeming to kind of flip the roster around this young core of guys they have. CJ Stroud, Derek Stingley, Will Anderson Jr. They made a ton of moves. They re-signed Ogunbowale. They traded for Christian Kirk. They shored up the DT room with Sheldon Rankins, and they brought in some, wide receiver help with Braxton Berrios and Justin Watson. Darell Taylor helps in the edge room as well as Derek Barnett. They've got a couple special teams guys like Tremon Smith, who they brought in for special teams. They traded Kenyon Green for CJ Gardner Johnson, brought in some O-line help with Laken Tomlinson. Mario Edwards Jr. was a great re-sign as well. And then continuing on, they continue to make these kind of, not questionable, but moves that you don't see the full picture just yet. Ed Ingram trading for the Vikings guard. I mean, you get a Vikings guard in Ed Ingram. You get a Vikings tackle in Cam Robinson. But what was their biggest issue at the end of last year and in that playoff game? It was the O-line protection for Sam Darnold. He was running for his life, and he got sacked, it seemed like a dozen times in that Vikings-Rams playoff game. So it is a huge question mark on why they're kind of bringing some of these guys in to help revamp this Texans offensive line, when the Vikings offensive line last year, they did a huge revamping of their O-line this offseason themselves. But I still believe in Nick Caserio. I still believe in this front office. And this just means there are more moves to be made. I don't think we even see close to the complete picture of what this offensive line is going to look like next season. All I know is no matter what happens, rain or shine, light or dark, wherever, whenever the Texans make a move, we break it down here on the channel. That's why you got to hit that subscribe button for more Texans videos, 100% free. We are your one-stop shop for Texans news and rumors around free agency, trades, the NFL draft, all throughout the offseason. We got you covered here on Texans Today.